Welcome to the Vibrantly You podcast. We're your hosts, Megan Martineau
and Caitlin Cipriano. In this podcast, we talk about fitness and nutrition on your motherhood journey. Whether you are trying to conceive, pregnant, postpartum, or beyond, you are welcome here.
Nothing is off limits, and our goal is to support you in this important season of life so that you can feel vibrantly you. As a reminder, this information is not medical advice. Please see the show notes for more details.
Welcome back to the Vibrantly You podcast. Today, we're going to have a casual chat. We're talking about balancing motherhood and business. This might be a little bit all over the place in conversation, but we're going to share some things. So if you are also a mom that owns their own business, maybe have some relatability to hear that you're not alone.
Yeah, so if you are new to our podcast, my name is Megan. I am a certified personal trainer, pre and postnatal fitness specialist. I am the owner and founder of Vibrant Mama Wellness, which is an online fitness space. I work with moms one-on-one during pregnancy and postpartum. I help moms prepare for birth through exercise, get back into routines postpartum. I teach some classes in person, locally with a doula agency, but most of my work is with people online.
And I'm Caitlin Cipriano. I am a certified perinatal nutritionist and also an athletic trainer. I work with moms through trying to conceive, pregnancy, and postpartum on really teaching them how to create positive systems for themselves with their food and nutrition. And let's see, I also am a patient and family advocate in the state of Vermont. So I'm a really big advocate for maternal health initiatives too. So that's something that I'm a lot more active in this coming up this year.
Which is so exciting.
Yeah.
I love that you're doing that. So
Yeah.
needed.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and so we both have two kids. They're both the same age. Your son's 5, mine's almost 5, and then we both have 2-year-olds that are literally 6 days apart in age. Not
And the
planned. We say that
sassiest
all the time.
children.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And so, like, for me, I have both my kids at home. So, my son's birthday is in the fall, so he misses the cutoff for kindergarten. So, I have him here another year. He is starting pre-K, which is very exciting. He's very excited about it. But up until this point, I have had both kids at home full time, trying to find this balance between, and I wonder if you find this too. It's like, kind of a stay-at-home mom, but like you're also a work from home mom and like you don't really fit into either bucket. Because even like for you, I mean, I know that the kids have some care now, but like Luca's not in full time pre-K, and like for a while, I know you had him at home. So it's like we've both kind of been in this space where it's like we're not quite stay-at-home moms, but we're not quite like work from home moms. We're like both.
Yeah. I would agree. I think it's an interesting position to be in. When I first started my business, it was in 2020. And so Luca had just been born. And so I was trying to figure, all of that out. But I had pretty limited support. My mom would come a couple of times a week to hang out with him, which was great. But it was definitely this very, strange balance, with time. And then I had a period of time where he was in daycare. And so I definitely kind of fell more into work from home. Then he went to preschool where he was just there for 2.5 hours every day. So it kind of swung back into that category of being in this in between. And we're still kind of in between now, I think, until he starts kindergarten in the fall. And then it will probably be a little bit easier to navigate work and mom time again.
Yeah, because I think the hardest part about being in like both of these roles is creating those boundaries of like when is work time? When is mom time? Because when it's so like meshed together, it's like hard to separate the two. I know for me, when I just had one child, it was a lot easier for me to do that because he would always nap during the day. So then when he's napping, I had time to myself. Or when he went to bed, bedtime routine is much easier with one child. They go down much quicker. Or even like, I would just work in the morning before he woke up. So I felt like those boundaries were a lot easier for me with one child because they felt stronger, the boundaries, if that makes sense. Like I always feel like even if I'm not actively working, I'm curious if you feel this way too. Like I've always got some open tabs in my brain, where I'm like thinking about things. I'm thinking about my clients, or I'm thinking about this new program I want to create, or like, oh, that would make a really good Instagram reel. Like my brain is always kind of going in the background, and it's hard for me to kind of like fully switch that off. But now that I have both kids, like my oldest, he doesn't nap anymore. Like we try to do a little bit of quiet time, but if you're a mom right now and you have a child that is past the age of nap time, you know how quiet time goes. It's hit or miss. So it's kind of like I always have one kid there, or it's like bedtime takes forever and it's like 9 o'clock by the time they're both down. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. So it's like now I find those lines a little more blurry, but curious. Yeah, I'm curious if you have had a similar experience with that.
Yeah, I would agree, especially the piece you said about kind of always having those like tabs open and those thoughts coming in the background. And I find that really hard to sometimes turn off and be fully like present with them because I'm like, an idea just like floats in and you want to like go act on it, but you can't because, it's just not the appropriate time and place because you're trying to be in the mom mode. Or, I've even had, times where I do have like Luca home with me and I'm in a meeting with a client and now he's like that he's a bit older. He's very good about understanding that. Like I really am blessed with like him being very patient and independent in activities, but like, he might need me with things. He's, just 5, like learning to wipe his butt, like kids have, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, like I'm so sorry. Sorry, like I'll be right
I
back.
mean, I do feel like the good
Like,
thing, I do think it helps though that like we work with moms, so like people
yes,
get it.
yes. And people do, and that's wonderful. That part is very wonderful, and I'm very grateful for because I definitely wouldn't be able to work in like a, super corporate work from home job with that regard. But it's still always like it makes me not feel as like professional or put together sometimes as I would want to be.
Yeah, I get that. And even sometimes I feel like I I mean, I don't miss having like a more corporate type job. So the interesting thing for me is well, I didn't always, but since 2017, I started working from home full time. And I didn't start my business until 2021. So I was kind of always used to working from home. But working for somebody else, I had a more strict schedule, right? So like I had to log in by a certain time. I had to be available. Then I would like log off at night and that was it. And I did not think about work again until the following day. And my husband has a work from home job, like a fully remote job. And so that's how it is for him. Like he has to log in, then he logs out and he's done. And sometimes I envy that because I'm like, again, like it's always these tabs, right, in the background. And I honestly think that's kind of like a misconception about like entrepreneurship. Sometimes people are like, wow, you're so lucky you work for yourself. You can make your own schedule. And it's like, yes, that is nice. But there is a trade-off because you're never like fully off. You're always thinking about it. Because I also think like your business also becomes like another child. Like it's something you are so invested in and you are so proud of. And it's like, it's so hard to disconnect from it and take breaks.
Absolutely. I saw, I think it was like a maybe an Instagram reel recently, and it was sort of like comparing those and the person's, moving their hands around like a clock, and so the like first one is, 8 to 4 or whatever. And then, the entrepreneur clock is just like continually circling. And so when you were
Yes.
describing that, like that was the visual that I had in my mind because it's so true.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't trade it at this point in my life, but it's interesting and it's definitely a adjustment. But I do find that once people like come into entrepreneurship and then they're just like, I could never do anything else. Like, yes, it can be like crazy and stressful, but yeah, this is what I'm doing. And so I think too, so not just like balancing like motherhood and business, but trying to find free time where you're not doing either one and like fully shutting off your brain. I find this to be challenging. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's sometimes really hard to, you know, say I know I have work tasks that I need to do, but I'm, choosing to like prioritize some type of self-care. And that has really been something I've like trying to work on this year for myself because now I am like 5 years into this, and I do have like better systems for myself. And so it is saying like, like I don't need to get that like document to a client like right now. Like I can go do my workout and then like that can wait and I can go back to it versus 2 years ago, I probably would have been like, okay, I need to do that document. But now, okay, now I don't have time to go do the workout or the meal prep or whatever care item I would like to do for myself. And so that piece has been so challenging, but I do find that I'm starting to get better about prioritizing it for myself. But I think it, I'm getting better at it because I've had to, because I did have like struggles with my mental health and with having like the chronic SI joint pain. It was like something has to give here. Like I have to make time for me. Otherwise, like I'm just going to be stuck in this space that I don't want, of how I don't want to feel.
Yeah, and I also think like for us, we are both in the health and wellness space. You're coaching people through nutrition, I'm coaching people through exercise and fitness, and it's like we tell people this all the time, right? Like you have to prioritize yourself. You have to make sure you're drinking water. You have to make sure you're eating nutrient-dense foods. You have to move your body. Like you have to sleep. Like you have to do all these things. But then it's like when you are trying to run a business and be a mom, like it's so easy to let those things come first and put all of the things for you on the back burner. So it is so important to prioritize those things. And I think I'm in the same boat as you. Like I'm at the point now where like I've created the systems, I've kind of like gotten into like a decent flow in terms of how my business runs. Time management is another story, but also because we're working with limited time. But yeah, just trying to be like, okay, I need to prioritize these things because if I don't, I'm gonna burn out. And like, if I'm burnt out, then I can't help the people that I want to help. So it's that same idea, right? Like, put your
Yeah.
oxygen mask on first. And I mean, I think this is such a common theme though for entrepreneurs. Like, I always see this, like, when I'm scrolling threads or like on Instagram, like, I know it's so, so common. Um, and it's hard to do, but then I do think like once you are able to prioritize yourself, it's like then you see that pay off in both your business and in your relationship with your kids and your family. And yeah, it's just one of those hard things you just got to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I agree with everything. I think like the experience is very similar for me, and it's, having to just be like, I have to practice what I preach to other people. Like it does make a huge difference in how I feel, and I can show up. When I show up better for myself, I can show up better for my clients and my family.
Yeah. So when you are not working or being a mom, what do you do in your free time? What are things that you
Yeah.
like to do
Oh my
these days?
gosh.
I literally was asked this question the other day and I was like, I don't know. I think something that can be like interesting with this though is like we got into our business, like we created our businesses. We're into this career field because at one point it was like an interest and almost like a hobby, and then it like evolved. So like I personally have been having some trouble being like, what do I do for fun now? Because now this is my job.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I do like generally enjoy like my workouts and exercising. Like that does feel really good, but I wouldn't say that's like a hobby, right? Like it's still part of like taking care of myself. I really like gardening. So I have a garden in the summer, like a vegetable garden. I'm not as good with flowers, but I'm pretty good with vegetables. So I really enjoy doing that. And I probably don't really talk about this that much, but when I was in high school and college, I used to work on a vegetable farm, like planting
Oh,
and
that's so cool.
harvesting. And so like it definitely comes from that. But I've, been able to kind of like expand the garden. Like it was not very much or 2 summers ago when I had Gianna, but now I have like 3 raised beds, and I'm able to have like my lettuce, and we just had like snap peas from the garden and this week, and the carrots are starting to come along. So that definitely like brings me a lot of joy, and it's something fun that I can do in like free pockets of time that it's also not like crazy demanding either.
Yeah, because I think that's important too, right? Like we need to like have time to just like unwind, and
Hmm.
especially something where like your brain doesn't have to work so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's a great option.
Mhm. Also, I've been trying to do better with like reading and journaling too, which is like, again, kind of more in that like self-care realm, but I do like generally enjoy reading. So I've been trying to do more like reading for enjoyment.
Yeah, that's probably my only hobby at this point in time. I'm on a goal for the rest of this year to try to like find some other like fun hobbies, but yeah, reading has definitely been a big one for me. Like I like reading like thrillers or like romance type of books, like beachy reads. My goal this year actually is to read 50 books and I'm at like 23. So
Oh,
I'm getting there.
that's
Um
great.
yeah, and it's the same kind of thing like you said with the gardening. Like it's nice to just like get lost in a book, and just like escape reality for a little bit. And um yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like reading is something I've always liked. But yeah, I'm on the hunt for some more things. Maybe one day I'll get into gardening. I'll need your
Yeah,
help.
I can help. I can help. Awesome. Well, if you're just finding us for the first time, please feel free to share with a friend and leave us a comment or review if you enjoyed this. If there are other topics that you want us to cover, please let us know. You can find me at Wholesome Huntress Nutrition on Instagram, and you can find Meg at Vibrant Mama Wellness. We'll see you guys next time.